Yeah, hey, how's it going? My name is Didi Joe O'Hanrahan Giancarlo. My husband, Mike, he has what you might loosely call a hobby. Okay, he likes to watch TV all day long. Okay, the TV is on from morning until night. And some of the shows that he watches are like kind of questionable. One of his favorite shows is called Wipeout. Okay, and this is a competition show. The contestants, they have to run an obstacle course, and there are all these booby traps set up along the course. Yeah. So this one section, they have to shimmy along a very narrow ledge, and all of a sudden this window flies open, and a boxing glove at the end of a pole pops out, hits them in the head. They go flying off the ledge into a vat of mud. Okay, or they're on a different ledge, and they're shooting them with whipped cream, and it's slippery, and they go flying off into a swimming pool. Okay, and the whole point is to get to the end so they can compete for the big money. And basically the people that do this show, that are on as contestants, they literally are idiots. Okay, sheer idiots. That is the kindest word I can use to describe them. Okay, idiots. But okay, this other show that he really likes, it's a game show. It's called Family Feud. Okay, and they have these two families, and then they ask 100 people a question, and the families have to guess what some of the answers are. Like the top 4 or 5 answers. So like the first family, they'll make a guess, and it's wrong. Okay, so then it goes to the second family, and they take a guess, and they're wrong, and so it goes back to the first family. And then the first family, they're so attached to their first answer that they want to answer that a second time. They want to give the same answer a second time, and the host is kind of, trying to indicate to them that they have already answered this and that it was wrong. But we believe that it will be true this time, they say. And so they guess the same answer again, and it's wrong. Okay, so the people on this show are totally out of control. That's all I can say. Another show that Mike loves. Okay, it's called Mountain Monsters. Okay, and it's kind of like like these hill people. And they go to these different forests looking for Bigfoot. Okay, and the thing is, these people, they act kind of ignorant. Okay, now secretly, I think they're really college professors pretending to be hill people. Okay, but I don't know. So anyway, they all go to this forest. Okay, and they're sitting around a campfire at night, and all of a sudden, they'll hear, a sound in the forest. It's probably a squirrel, running over a dry leaf or an acorn or something. But they pop their heads up and they say, "Is that Bigfoot? Is that Bigfoot?" Or else they'll hear like a howling in the distance. Ow, oh, and it's probably a wolf. Okay, the logical explanation, it's probably a wolf. But they say, "Is that a Bigfoot? Is that a Bigfoot?" And, I see Mike watching this show, episode after episode. And I say, "Mike, why are you watching this show? I mean, they never, ever find a Bigfoot. They never capture a Bigfoot." And he says, "Well, maybe this next episode they will." Okay, so he's hooked. Okay, there's nothing I can do. But anyway, there's this other group of shows that he watches all the time. Okay, they're these murder shows, where they kill, some woman. We gotta kill us a woman. Gotta kill us a woman. Okay, and so they're killing a woman, and shows like Buried in the Backyard, or I Married a Monster, Till Death Do Us Part, those kind of shows. And he watches them like over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, this is not normal. And I say to him, what are you watching these shows for? I mean, you're kind of watching them like they're tutorials. And he just laughs. He goes, I just think it's interesting how the detectives can figure it out, you know. So I trust Mike, but I keep a skillet under the bed just in case, okay? The other thing that he loves to watch, he'll watch it for hours on end, is the Weather Channel, okay? I mean, for hours. So this will be on, you know? And so, like, you know, I'm going to go out, you know, and I say, Mike, I'm going out. What's the weather going to be? He says, well, I don't know. Let me watch, you know, wait for the local to come on, I'll tell you. And I say, well, you've been watching it for 2 hours. I mean, don't you know what the local is by now? And he says, well, you know, the weather can change at any minute. So I have to wait 10 minutes because the local comes every 10 minutes. I have to wait 10 minutes for him to watch the local forecast so I can go out. So anyway, another thing that he loves to watch is, you know, football. Okay, so on the weekends and during the week when it's on, I'm a football widow. Okay, he watches it from morning until night. And when his favorite team is playing, I mean, he takes it as a personal affront, okay, if his team makes a mistake or does something wrong, okay, and he gets so personally involved. I mean, he'll start throwing things at the TV, you know, the remote control, and I'm thinking, well, I can't have him breaking things just for a football game. But you know, when COVID hit, you know, there weren't so many football games. You know, the sporting events, you know, became, you know, less and less. It was very sparse. Okay, so like he started watching, you know, things like cornhole competitions, archery, kayaking. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, he was even watching eating competitions. Did you know that there's a guy that ate 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes? I didn't know. I don't care, okay? But he just watches this stuff. I mean, like one time I caught him watching a lumberjack competition, okay? They were doing like log chops and log rolling and axe throwing. The one that beat them all, though, was when he was watching a fishing competition, okay? Bass fishing competition. Mike does not fish, okay? But he was watching a fishing competition. But the absolute worst show that Mike watches are these movies with the Three Stooges. Okay, now these are like old movies from the old days, you know. The Three Stooges, okay? They're these three guys, Larry, Curly, and Moe. Sometimes it would be Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe with their cousin Shemp, okay? So it was like slapstick comedy. So, you know, like these guys, you know, they're either like falling downstairs or falling out windows or running into doors, or they're slapping each other or poking each other in the eyes, you know, and like Mike thinks this is hysterical. And, you know, and I'm watching him watch this movie, and literally, I can see brain cells dying inside his head as he watches. And so when he's finally finished watching, he cannot speak an intelligent sentence for at least 30 minutes afterwards. So like, you know, if it's almost dinner time, I'll say, hey, Mike, what do you want for dinner? You know, and he'll mumble something that I cannot make heads or tails of, okay, to tell you the truth. And so, you know, like we'll be sitting there at the table, you know, and I'm trying to have a conversation about anything at this point, you know, and you know, I'll ask him, you know, just a very simple question, and literally unintelligible sounds come out of him. Yeah, like guttural nasal whistling type of sounds. And You know, so I just have to give up. You know, I give him the 30 minutes until he can start to kind of mentally recover, you know, from the Three Stooges movies, okay? But anyway, this is Mike's hobby, watching TV from morning until night. My name is Didi Joe. Have a nice day.